Alright guys, what's going on? Today we're going to do another video. This is going to be something a little bit different than I've done before. I was actually going through my comments on my YouTube channel, and I found there was like 500 and something comments over the past couple years that were in the, what do they call it, the likely spam folder. So I'm kind of going through there and I'm releasing them. And I came across a comment that I actually seen when it came up, and we kind of replied back and forth a little bit. And I'll put it up here on the screen right here. And basically what it said was, hey, you know, you can't be successful in this business doing it part-time. And then it also says something like you can't charge, you know, the top of the line pricing if you're not doing it full-time. And the reason for that is because apparently he said something about if your customers find out you're part-time or whatever. So when I seen that comment, I seen it come through a few days ago, and I wrote the guy back, and you know, my first line was literally, hey man, I appreciate it, but I do disagree 100%. I disagree with you. I understand where he's going with that, but I just don't agree. So today we're going to kind of go over some of the pros and cons of having another job, starting a lawn care business, and the pros and cons of the other side of it, you know, quitting your job, going full-time, all that type of stuff. So this is something that I have a lot of experience with on the part-time job or the full-time job doing a lawn care business. I don't have a lot of experience on the other side, but I do have some reasonable answers, I think, you know, that I can give some pros and cons on both sides. So just a little bit of a background for guys that don't know me and kind of know what my channel is. So 6 years ago, I started a lawn care business. Now I do have another job. It is full-time. I work for Cessna Aircraft. I get that question a lot. What do I do? So the best way to explain it is if you guys go into O'Reilly's Auto Parts, any kind of AutoZone, the guy behind the counter, that's me, but I sell airplane parts. That's basically what I do. So my job is to supply the service center mechanics with airplane parts so they can get the job done, whether that's stock on hand or we have to figure out where to get the part from. That's my job. I've been there for 21 years. And it's a job that I'm invested in. It's a job that I have a 401k. It's a job that I have a pension. And I make pretty good money doing this job. So back to the start of the story was I started a lawn care business. I've always worked two jobs in my life. Always have, ever since I got married. And just to kind of give you a little backstory on that real quick, my first son, Tyler, he was born and he was diagnosed with autism. My wife wanted to stay home, which I fully agree 100% with him. It was kind of a necessity. And so anyway, she stayed home. I worked two jobs, and basically my second job was kind of on a mow crew for another company, and that's what I did during the summers. And I didn't really do a whole lot during the winter. I just kind of, like I said, I was part-time. I worked 5-6 hours a week, or 5-6 hours a day, somewhere around 28 to 35 hours a week, somewhere around there, you know, making $8, $9, $10 an hour. And I did this so my wife, number one, could stay home. Two, we wanted to spend some money on books on different things to learn about autism because we just didn't know. So we got a lot of educational stuff, a lot of things that helped him out in his growth. And we did a lot of things like that. So anyway, we needed more money. So I did this for a long time. I kind of got used to it. I got in a rhythm. We had more kids. Wife stayed home. And then eventually, once the kids kind of got a little bit older, my wife decided she was going to you know, pursue her career. And she went to school, got her RN, and now works as an RN. So, but during that time, I just kind of continued to work two jobs. It's just something I've always done. We worked it out. You know, 6 years ago, I got the bright idea of starting my own company. Why mow for somebody else when I can do it myself and make more money? So that's when I started my company. And the biggest pro about having another job and starting a business is it allows you a little bit of leeway. It allows you to kind of make mistakes. It allows you to learn from those mistakes, and without costing your family a big hardship or something if something doesn't go right. So that's the biggest pro that I can think of with having a lawn care business with another full-time job, is the fact that, hey, I can learn how to run a business. I can make some mistakes, and I probably made some decisions with my company a little bit more freely because I knew I kind of had the other job that I kind of had a little bit of leeway. Obviously, the downside of that is it takes up a lot of time. So it takes up a lot of time, and you're working 2 different jobs. Basically, I'm working 2 full-time jobs. So I put in, so my regular job is 36 hours a week, which does help, and I only work 3 days a week. So that allows me to do my lawn care job 5 days a week, and it just does. So the great thing about it now that we've kind of worked out, a few years ago I was just really busy trying to grow the business and all that kind of stuff. It took a lot of time away from the family, but now since I've kind of downsized and everything's kind of a little bit more simpler now, it allows me to do different things. I still take my kids to school. I still pick my kids up from school. I still take them to practice. I still go to parent-teacher conferences. I still do all these things that I wanted to do as a father, but I'm still working 2 full-time jobs. So that's kind of the benefit of it. Yeah, I don't get 10 hours of sleep a night. I don't get 8 hours of sleep a night. I'm around the 6, maybe 7, somewhere around there, and that's just the way it is. So, you got some guys that have a lawn care business and that's all they have, and they still sleep 10, 12 hours a day. And, that was kind of my comment back to this guy was, hey, I understand where you're coming from. I really do. And I agree with most of it. I just don't agree with the fact that you can't be successful while having another job. I do agree that, hey, the more time you put into your business, the better off it's going to be. But my kind of reply back to him was, hey, I probably spend more time with my business and more time trying to grow my business or trying to be more efficient or whatever the case may be than some guys do when that's all they got. So that's kind of my point. And also, I also think that, hey, since I'm a smaller company and I'm wanting to grow, but I'm not wanting to get to $1 million company or nothing like that. I think what I'm doing is very, very feasible. Now, I had the idea a few years ago to quit my full-time job, just jump right in and go do it. The more I thought about it, the more I thought, hey, this probably isn't the wisest decision. And it really wasn't based on, the fact that, hey, how many clients I had or anything like that. But, at that time, I'm still learning, and I'm still learning now. I'm still learning how to run a business and how to do things. And, I don't want to make that jump until I'm 100% confident in what I'm doing. And I'm very close to that. I will say I'm very, very close to that. But at that time I had like all my eggs in one basket. I don't want to go through that whole story again. If you guys want to hear that story, I'll put a link right up here. But there's a lot of different scenarios. So another aspect of working a full-time job and doing a lawn care business, another benefit is, hey, we don't have a lot of winter work here. We don't have a lot of snow. We don't have a lot of things. So if I'm only running a lawn care business, then I have to budget for 12 months and only work 8 months. Well, with a family of 5 and just all the things that we got going on, money's gonna be tight. I'm not gonna lie to you, money's gonna be tight, So that's another pro for having a second income. And it doesn't have to be a full-time job. It could be a part-time job or something, but that's another pro when you live in a part of the country that I live in. Now, if you're up north or you're down south, that's a different story. So that's where I kind of get, some of these comments are like, hey, what works in your area it's not necessarily going to work in my area because we have different scenarios. My family's different. My environment is different. My weather is different. All these things have to come into play when you're thinking about making these decisions. Now, one of the biggest pro for not having another job is obviously you can spend more time in your business. And if you're wanting to grow, then that's something you probably need to do. You know, the more time you spend in your business, the more you perfect it, the more efficient you can be, the more money you put in your pocket, just the better off you're going to be, right? But in my situation, that's just not something I want to do. So, you know, let's say, you know, last year I ended off with 50 clients that I did somewhat multiple services for. I ended up, you know, I'm not going to get into all that again. We've done this in previous videos, but you know, let's say my goal this year is to have 100 clients. So I'm just trying to bump it up a little bit, you know, and I can do that with the time that I work in my business now. I know the steps I need to take. I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. And you know, this time of year is when I'm working on my business. So, you know, like I said, I only work 3 days a week, and I work the weekends. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I go in at 6 p.m. on Fridays. So that allows me to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in my lawn care business throughout the day. And I'm still home in the evening with my family. I miss some time on the weekends, but you know, you got to sacrifice somewhere, right? So basically my point of this video is, hey, you know, if you're just starting out a lawn care business, let's say you don't have 100 customers, you don't have 50 customers and whatever, you know, I think it's good to have kind of a backup plan. I really do. I think it's good. I think it's smart. I think it's just a little risky to put all your eggs into a lawn care business, especially if you don't know how to run a business. Now, if you have a business background, a marketing background, or whatever the case may be, you know, obviously you're more confident. Obviously you can do more right off the bat. But for me, I had to learn. I had to learn different things. It took me years to learn that I wanted to be kind of a smaller company. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. It took me 5-6 years to figure that out. So if I would have made these mistakes, the mistakes that I've made without having my other job, we would have struggled for a long time. We would have struggled because things just wasn't working out the way I thought they were going to. So anyway, guys, obviously the point of this video is to kind of give you a little perspective. Everybody's situation is different, and that's just kind of what I wanted to point out. And you know, me and this guy, I got no hard feelings whatsoever. We ended up kind of commenting back and forth a couple different times, and he kind of seen where I was coming from, I seen where he was coming from. At the end of the day, we really didn't agree wholeheartedly, you know, but that's fine. We don't have to agree. I can do my thing, you can do your thing. I wish you the best, and that's just kind of the way it is. So anyway, so if you're somebody who is struggling with that, you know, here's a little bit of perspective from my point of view, and you know, it all comes down to your situation. How is this going to work for you? What's the best scenario for you? So anyway, I'm going to end this video right here. I don't want to ramble on too long. I didn't make notes on this video. I didn't do anything. I just, you know, it was just something that kind of just struck me. So I wanted to just turn on the camera and I just wanted to talk about it. If there's something I missed, leave it in the comments below. We'll kind of talk about it. I love having these types of discussions. And if you're a guy that thinks, hey, you can't do this successfully without going in 100% and without doing nothing else, then leave a comment below. If you're a guy that has another job and you know you think you can make it work both ways like kind of I do, leave a comment below. I would love to hear you guys' feedback, and I'd love to kind of conversate on this, and you know, hopefully we can learn something from each other. So anyway, guys, we'll see you guys later.